In the expansive theater of the world, it is a striking irony that our lives, more often than not, unfold within the confines of a remarkably small stage. Birth and death frequently bookmark our existence in the very same locale, amid familiar faces and unchanging landscapes. Tradition and societal expectations tether us to these origins, binding us to family and friends as if we were essential, irreplaceable cogs in the societal machine. This enduring proximity to our beginnings poses a thought-provoking question about our role and identity in the broader context of the universe. Are we truly meant to anchor ourselves to a singular spot on this vast earth? Or does the philosophical pursuit of wisdom compel us to explore beyond the familiar? In this discourse, we shall delve into the Stoic perspective on why it may be natural, and perhaps even necessary, to sometimes feel the urge to sever these ties and venture forth in search of a broader understanding of life. As the years accumulate, so too does our attachment to the familiar confines of our personal environments. These sanctuaries, though limited in scope, offer a sense of security and continuity that is difficult to relinquish. And yet, there exists within some of us a compelling urge to break free from these self-imposed boundaries, to detach from the well-trodden paths of our existence, and to begin anew in uncharted territories. This longing for departure may be driven by necessity, or perhaps by a profound desire to shed the weight of past experiences and redefine one's life on a blank canvas. But whence comes this profound urge to forsake all that is familiar? Is the act of packing our belongings and establishing roots in a distant land truly a judicious decision? Does changing one's locale carry with it an intrinsic value, or is it merely an attempt to flee from underlying dissatisfaction? In the Stoic examination of life, such questions challenge us to discern between the mere act of escape and the meaningful pursuit of personal growth and self-discovery. This discourse delves into the enigmatic inclination to abandon all. Through a philosophical prism, you might recognize this sensation, the persistent compulsion to gather one's belongings and depart. Such a desire might emerge from clear causes, like personal failures or residing in a toxic milieu. At other times, the motivations are opaque, rendering the yearning to flee both irrational and inscrutable. As we explore this impulse through a Stoic lens, we are invited to consider whether this drive to leave is a mere reaction to adversity or a deeper, more introspective call to seek wisdom and transformation beyond the confines of our current circumstances. Perhaps this propensity to forge ahead is an intrinsic element of our being, a vestige of our ancestors' nomadic existence. Alternatively, it might be an unconscious yearning to sever ties with the monotony of daily life, seeking renewal in novel surroundings. My own profound impulse to abandon everything emerged in 2010 amidst a period marked by depression and the protracted, distressing dissolution of a long-term relationship, which in retrospect was profoundly toxic. During this tumultuous time, I entertained visions of traversing from city to city as a travel blogger, or vanishing into the wilderness in the manner of the famed adventurer Chris McCandless. I fantasized about securing employment overseas and initiating a fresh chapter. The destination was immaterial. Asia, Spain, Iran, any would suffice. Yet the question lingers, why was this urge to depart so overwhelming? This reflection invites us to consider whether our desire to move on is merely a flight from discomfort, or if it represents a deeper, perhaps Stoic quest for personal evolution in the pursuit of a life aligned more closely with our true nature. Reflecting upon the forces that drove my desire to depart, several catalysts emerge. Initially, my past weighed upon me oppressively, akin to a millstone around my neck. Every interaction with my familiar environment dredged up painful memories. Additionally, the financial crisis of the time rendered me unable to secure employment that aligned with my educational background, relegating me to factory and warehouse work, roles that I found unsatisfactory and disheartening. Confronted with what seemed a bleak future, a powerful and incessant urge to flee took hold of me. This urge was not merely a desire to escape, but a profound need to transform, to emerge from the constraints of my past like a butterfly leaving its chrysalis, or a snake shedding its old skin. I yearned for adventure, new landscapes, and new faces. I hoped that the freshness of change and the act of moving would cleanse the remnants of past tribulations and reinvent me. This Stoic reflection on personal renewal invites us to consider whether the drive to leave is an escape or a deeper recalibration of one's life in pursuit of virtue and true self-realization. In time, my circumstances transformed favorably. I secured a fulfilling job, pursued further education, and cultivated a vibrant social circle which collectively infused my life with joy. This newfound contentment subdued the once intense longing to abandon everything. The present seemed rich enough to eclipse the shadows of past sorrows, and thus the life I had built no longer felt like something from which I needed to flee. This shift illustrated that my earlier desire to leave was deeply intertwined with an underlying dissatisfaction with my life, a dissatisfaction I addressed by enriching my daily experiences. Despite these improvements, the impulse to leave never fully dissolved. Observing friends relocate to Germany and thrive in their new settings rekindled my adventurous spirit. This resurgence of wanderlust prompted introspection. Was my place here, or was it elsewhere? The Stoic philosophy suggests that such recurring desires may not simply reflect a whimsical yearning for change, but could signify a deeper, perhaps philosophical, need to explore and test the virtues of life anew. Thus, the question remains not merely one of location, but of existential purpose in personal fulfillment. Indeed, the rekindled desire to venture anew aligned with a persistent dissatisfaction and an inner restlessness, signaling the necessity for transformation. Confronted with this reality, I delineated two paths: resolving this discontent within my existing milieu, or succumbing to the potent allure of distant horizons. The latter option prevailed, leading me to spend considerable time overseas post-pandemic, and even contemplating the possibility of semi-permanently resettling far from my original surroundings. Reflecting on this choice, it strikes me as ironic because I could have addressed my discontent locally by shifting my mindset and making adjustments to my immediate environment. After all, true contentment originates internally. This raises a Stoic inquiry. If happiness is genuinely derived from within, what does changing one's scenery truly accomplish? Such considerations prompt us to examine whether our external pursuits for happiness are merely distractions from the essential work of cultivating inner peace and self-acceptance. This compulsion to depart, driven by a quest for happiness, can appear irrational upon deeper reflection. The inclination to leave everything behind suggests a profound dissatisfaction with present circumstances, a belief that fleeing from the current environment will somehow leave our troubles behind. Yet, does a change of scenery truly remedy underlying unhappiness in the long term? From a Stoic perspective, the source of our discontent lies not in our external conditions, but within our own perceptions and reactions. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher, famously stated, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself and your way of thinking." This wisdom prompts us to question whether relocating physically can genuinely affect our internal state of mind. After all, wherever we go, we bring with us the same patterns of thought, including our propensities towards dissatisfaction and unease. The idea that we can escape our unhappiness by moving to new locales is a fallacy when we consider that the roots of discontent are internal. Therefore, if we seek true happiness and peace, the Stoic approach would guide us to introspection and self-mastery rather than geographical change. This philosophical exploration challenges us to confront and transform our internal landscape as the true path to enduring contentment. The pursuit of happiness through external means, a quest often manifested in the desire to travel or relocate. Many embark on journeys to new locales under the guise that such changes will precipitate personal contentment. Some depart their homeland permanently, driven by intense dissatisfaction with their surroundings, uttering grievances such as, "This country is going down the drain," or proclaiming, "The cultural shifts here are intolerable. I must leave." They seek refuge in the idea of a fresh start elsewhere. Others wander from place to place, drawn by the allure of transient pleasures that new environments offer, hoping each new destination will momentarily silence their underlying dissatisfaction with life. This pattern of seeking happiness in new sights and experiences is often romanticized as a journey of self-discovery. Yet, from a Stoic viewpoint, this external search is misguided. Stoicism teaches that true contentment is not found in changing our location or circumstances, but in changing our responses to them. As Epictetus stated, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This philosophy urges us to look inward for transformation rather than outward for escape, emphasizing that wherever we go, our internal conflicts and discontents invariably follow. Thus, the real journey to undertake is one of personal introspection and mastery over one's thoughts and emotions. Indeed, while research suggests that travel can temporarily enhance happiness, the pleasure derived from such experiences, as with all external sources of joy, is ephemeral. The happiness it offers is not a lasting solution to deeper feelings of unhappiness or discontent. Stoic philosophers, including Seneca, have articulated skepticism about the true value of travel in addressing the root causes of human dissatisfaction. In his profound reflections on the nature of discontent in the human condition, Seneca challenges the notion that physical movement across the earth can bring inner peace. He eloquently argues that the issues plaguing a person's spirit cannot be resolved by merely changing locations. In one of his letters, Seneca writes, "Do you suppose that you alone have had this experience? Are you surprised, as if it were a novelty, that after such long travel and so many changes of scene, you have not been able to shake off the gloom and heaviness of your mind? You need a change of soul rather than a change of climate. Though you may cross vast spaces of sea, your faults will follow you whithersoever you travel." This passage underscores a fundamental Stoic principle. True happiness and contentment are not dependent on where we are, but on how we perceive and interact with the world. Changing our location can distract us temporarily from our troubles, but it does not address the underlying causes of our discontent. The work that needs to be done is internal, focusing on self-awareness, personal growth, and the transformation of our attitudes and responses. This Stoic view invites us to cultivate resilience and wisdom rather than seeking external solutions to internal challenges. The allure of travel as a remedy for malaise is not a modern phenomenon. Even in Seneca's time, many sought to alleviate their unease through journeys. Yet Seneca's wisdom points us towards a deeper understanding. He recognized that while travel could temporarily affect one's mood, it does not resolve the root causes of discontent. This realization aligns with a core Stoic principle. The source of our emotions lies within our perceptions, not our surroundings. Seneca argued that the novelty of new environments only offers a temporary distraction. Once this novelty wears off, the familiar feelings of dissatisfaction and restlessness inevitably resurface. This is because, irrespective of the distance traveled or the newness of the locale, we cannot escape ourselves. Our internal conflicts, our unresolved issues, and our inherent tendencies accompany us regardless of geographic displacement. The Stoics teach that these are internal challenges, deeply embedded in our character and thought processes. Thus, attempting to solve these issues by merely changing locations is futile. We might leave everything behind, start anew on a different continent, meet new people, and even adopt new identities. But the essence of who we are, the thoughts and patterns that govern our emotions, remains unchanged. Ultimately, our emotional state and contentment are determined not by our external circumstances, but by how we interpret and respond to them. This Stoic viewpoint encourages a profound inward journey, focusing on self-awareness and cognitive adjustment as the true paths to enduring peace and happiness. It invites us to cultivate virtue and wisdom rather than seeking external changes as solutions to internal dilemmas. Shifting our perspective from a Stoic to an existentialist lens offers a compelling reinterpretation of the desire to leave everything behind. From this vantage, the quest to relocate is not merely about seeking happiness or escaping discontent, but about deeper, more existential themes of freedom, choice, and personal reinvention. Existentialism posits that existence precedes essence, that our lives are not predefined and our identities are not fixed by our circumstances or origins. In this light, the act of moving to a new place can be seen not just as an escape, but as a profound assertion of autonomy and a deliberate step in crafting one's own life narrative. By choosing to leave, we exercise our fundamental freedom to redefine our being and our purpose, unshackled from the constraints and expectations of our original settings. This existential freedom is about creating oneself anew, exploring different facets of one's identity, and engaging with the world in a way that is driven by personal choice rather than by societal or historical accident. Moving to a new place, then, can be an existential experiment, an opportunity to test and experience oneself in different contexts and to interact with new cultures and ideas that challenge and refine our understanding of the world and our place within it. Thus, the decision to pack up and start anew in a different environment carries with it not just the pursuit of fleeting happiness, but a deeper exploration of life's possibilities. It embodies the existential belief that through our choices and actions, we continually create and recreate ourselves and our worlds. In this context, leaving everything behind becomes a meaningful exploration of personal freedom, an expression of the courage to confront the unknown, and a commitment to living authentically according to one's own values and desires. Drawing from the existentialist philosophies of Simone de Beauvoir and Jean-Paul Sartre, the act of leaving everything behind is imbued with profound significance. Their view suggests that our existence, inherently devoid of pre-assigned meaning, grants us a type of freedom both exhilarating and daunting. This freedom does not compel us to chase a predefined purpose or adhere to a monolithic belief system. Instead, it invites us to sculpt our lives in the myriad shapes we desire. This existential freedom underpins the choice to step out of our familiar environments. By leaving behind what is known, we not only challenge our old identities, but also the very values and societal norms that shape those identities. This act of departure is not merely geographical, but deeply philosophical. It is an exercise in self-definition and self-assertion. It represents a break from the inertia of the given, a conscious movement towards something personally crafted and chosen. The decision to move and establish oneself anew elsewhere is thus a potent assertion of individual freedom. It involves rejecting the path that was laid out by circumstance and instead crafting one's own path. This is not just about changing one's surroundings, but about redefining one's relationship with the world. By doing so, we take control of our narrative, stepping away from societal expectations and towards a life that reflects our deepest values and aspirations. Such a move is a liberation from the predetermined aspects of existence. It is an active choice to shape our future, not based on where we come from, but where we choose to go. This freedom to redefine our existence is at the heart of existentialism, a philosophy that does not seek to find the meaning of life imposed from the outside, but encourages each individual to create their own meaning from within. Thus, leaving everything behind becomes more than an escape. It is a declaration of independence, a creation of space where one can explore and express the full range of one's potentialities. It's about embracing the uncertainty that comes with freedom and using it as a canvas upon which to project one's own visions and dreams. The philosophical underpinnings of the movie Interstellar, particularly through Professor Brand's statement, "We're not meant to save the world, we're meant to leave it," open a compelling discourse on the inherent exploratory drive of humanity. This perspective does indeed contrast with existentialist notions of creating meaning within oneself, proposing instead a broader, almost destiny-driven narrative for our species. This statement evokes a reflection on the human spirit as innately explorative and expansionist. Historically, humans have not only adapted to diverse environments on Earth, but have also been perpetually curious, constantly pushing the boundaries of known geography, and now the limits of space itself. The narrative in Interstellar posits that our future, perhaps our destiny, is not confined to the preservation of our home planet, but in transcending it to explore and inhabit new worlds. This idea of a predestined journey into the cosmos taps into both ancient and modern fascinations with the stars as destinations. It suggests a cosmic purpose where humanity's progress and evolution are seen as part of a larger, perhaps universal narrative. The implication is profound, that our explorations and migrations are not merely survival mechanisms or the result of cultural and technological advancements, but are embedded in the fabric of what it means to be human. Moreover, this viewpoint challenges the existentialist stance by inferring that our essence or purpose may be intertwined with a broader cosmic journey. It invites us to consider that perhaps our drive to explore and establish new frontiers is not solely a matter of personal or cultural choice, but is an intrinsic part of our species' trajectory. The profound impact of such a perspective lies in its ability to inspire a collective identity and mission, positioning humanity itself as an explorer species, destined to venture far beyond its origins. In reflecting on these themes, Interstellar not only captivates with its story, but also stimulates a philosophical and almost spiritual contemplation about our place in the universe and the nature of our aspirations. It resonates deeply with the age-old human quest for discovery and the timeless allure of the unknown, suggesting that perhaps, in the grand tapestry of the cosmos, the journey itself is our home. Ultimately, the impulse to leave everything behind transcends mere escapism or the pursuit of happiness in new locales. It taps into a fundamental aspect of our human essence, an intrinsic curiosity and desire for exploration that has always been a part of us. Reflecting on childhood memories such as spending hours with my brothers, constructing spaceships from Legos, and imagining interstellar adventures, highlights this innate proclivity. Each family visit, vacation, or casual stroll through the forest became a backdrop for our imagined explorations, turning every outing into an exhilarating adventure. These playful experiences were not just childish fantasies. They were rehearsals for the kind of exploratory lives we aspired to lead. Although we may not have realized those dreams of cosmic adventure, these early experiences of imagination and play reveal a profound truth about our nature. They suggest that our yearning to explore and to venture beyond our known boundaries is deeply embedded within us. Thus, the urge to leave everything behind and seek new horizons is more than a simple desire to escape the mundane. It is a reflection of our adventurous spirit and our inherent drive to discover and experience the unknown. This inclination is not an aberration, but rather a true expression of our deepest human instincts. It is a reminder that at our core, we are explorers and adventurers, forever drawn to the unknown and the possibility of what lies beyond the familiar. In this light, the feeling of wanting to leave everything behind emerges not as a flight from reality, but as a pursuit of a deeper reality, a quest that is as much a part of us as our very breath. Thank you for joining in this exploration of what it means to truly live and to seek out the frontiers of our existence.